Did you know that more than 150 plants are mentioned by name in the Harry Potter series? Some of them are of the imagination of the author, but some of the plants really do exist. The real plants may have been embellished for the sake of the story and given more magical characteristics. I'm botanist, plant ecologist, and Potterhead Dr. Ped Danishkar, and join me as we fact check some of the plants of the Wizarding World. Let's begin by talking about some of our favorite plants that for sure don't exist. Now for plants that don't exist, like this shrivel fig here, I'll try to give you the closest thing we got in the Muggle world. We all remember in Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire when Neville gave Harry gillyweed to help him breathe underwater in the Black Lake during the second task of the Triwizard Tournament. Gillyweed was described to be like slimy green rat tails. Obviously, this plant isn't real, but there are plants that are known to generate a lot of oxygen for underwater life. If I had to pick a real plant that would be the closest thing to gillyweed, it would be hornwort, Ceratophyllum demasirum, a fast-growing rootless plant. It's popular in the aquarium trade because of its ability to oxygenate water. Gilly water likely has gillyweed in it. I wonder why this was the drink of choice for Professor McGonagall. A red and green spiky plant with teeth, the venomous Tentacula has long creeping vine-like feelers that always try to grab and strangle a nearby herbology student. Fred and George bought Tentacula seeds from the shady Mundungus Fletcher with the purpose of putting them in their skiving snack boxes. These aren't real either, but there are plants with venom-like spines such as the stinging nettle. Nettles are also mentioned in Harry Potter. Stinging nettles, also referred to as burning nettles, have modified plant hairs called trichomes that can cause an inflammatory response in the skin that feels like a burn. Many viney plants have modified leaves called tendrils that allow for the plant to grab and grip things. These grow quickly in plant time, but the movement can only be seen through time-lapse photography. Described as the ugliest plant Harry has ever seen, Bubotubers look like big black slugs coming out of the ground. There is certainly debate on what might be the ugliest plants in our Muggle world. If I had to pick one, it would be Hydonora africana from southern Africa. Also known as jackal food, this basil flowering plant resembles a fungus in its look, and it behaves like a fungus as well, as it is parasitic of other plants, particularly the spurges. The Hydonora also is supposed to have a strong, unpleasant smell that smells like rotten flesh. Hermione remarks that bubotuber pus, when distilled, is useful against acne. No plants really secrete pus, but if you're looking for a plant that can help with acne, look no further than aloe vera or neem for their antibacterial or inflammatory properties. Cut aloes do ooze yellow latex, which could be likened to pus. Used to enhance the ability to accept the extraordinary, dirigible plums, a favorite of the Lovegoods, are a floating orange radish-like fruit that grow upside down. Radishes, of course, grow underground, but there is one fruit that is well known for growing upside down, and it's the banana. Bananas experience negative gravitropism, which means they grow away from the pull of gravity towards the sun. Neville Longbottom was thrilled when he was gifted a Mimbalus mimbletonia from his uncle, which Harry didn't understand because to him it looked like a diseased internal organ. When interpreting the plant from the films, they almost look like a succulent cactus. Neville's plant had the habit of spraying stink sap. These descriptions and images are reminiscent of carrion plants, Stapelia gigantea, which are succulent cacti with large star-shaped flowers that smell of carrion. This rotting flesh smell attracts flies, which the plant uses as pollinators. Now let's talk about some magical plants that exist, sort of. We learned in the Chamber of Secrets that potion with mandrake or mandragora could be used as a powerful restorative to return people who have been transfigured or cursed back to their normal state, like after being frozen by the basilisk. We also learned that the cry of a young mandrake can be fatal to anyone who hears it, which is why the herbology students had to wear earmuffs when repotting them. While it's obvious that plants don't cry or scream, there is evidence that plants may produce an ultrasonic sound when under stress, which is too high of a frequency for humans to hear. There are such things as the plant genus Mandragora, which is in the nightshade family. A common species of mandragora has purple flowers matching the descriptions in the book. While there is no evidence that mandragora cures anything, the plants became popular in witchcraft due to the root systems which resemble human figures. Mandragora are toxic, producing hallucinogenic tropane alkaloid, which may cause blurred vision, mouth dryness, dizziness, vomiting, rapid heart rate, and hyperactivity. The plant I wish was most real would have to be the whomping willow. The most feisty of the plants, the sentient willow will defend itself by whipping its branches. Of course, willows are real. There are 350 species of them found throughout the world. They just don't move, which is the sad part. My botany classes would be much more interesting if they did. Most willows are deciduous, meaning they lose their leaves whenever the weather cools. The largest willows are usually black willows, which can grow up to be more than 30 meters tall. That's over 100 feet. In the Chamber of Secrets, we see the whomping willow have club-like branches with smaller branches coming off of it, pounding on the Weasley's forward anglia. The clubs can form from the practice of pollarding, which is a system of pruning that results in large basal branch parts with clusters of young branches on top. Now, motion can be seen really in the plant world in a few ways. The first is like with the carnivorous Venus flytrap, which can trap prey with its snap traps in order to get some of the much-needed nutrients it can't get from its environment. The second is in a plant defense mechanism we see in plants like mimosas, called thigmonesty. When attacked, plants with this mechanism play dead or look damaged and unappealing. In both cases, the plants have a hair trigger, which causes a series of chemical reactions to change the plant structurally. Remember in Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone how the Devil's Snare was able to trap its victims with its tentacle-like vines? Hermione was able to overcome the plant with light from her wand. Now, of course, no plant can exist without light, but there is evidence that some plants can be harmed by too much light. I think of strangler figs when I think of vines that have the ability to entrap. These vines can overcome trees or even overcome buildings, causing harm from a tremendous amount of weight. There is, in fact, a plant that is called devil's snare, but it's much different from what's in the wizarding world. It's more commonly known as Jimson weed, and also can be called devil's trumpet. It's in the nightshade family. It is recognized by its fragrant, trumpet-like flowers of cream to purple. It also has a fruit, which is a spiny egg-shaped capsule. Across the Americas, indigenous people use this plant in sacred ceremonies for its hallucinogenic properties. In European witchcraft, it was also supposedly a common ingredient used for making witches' flying ointment. Regardless, this one is toxic, particularly in high doses. And now plants found in the Muggle world.
Clearly, fame isn't everything.
When Severus Snape wanted to humiliate Harry on his first day at Hogwarts, he asked him what the difference was between monkshood and wolfsbane. Snape was right that both of these plants are the same, and they are very real. There are more than 250 species of monkshood, which are all part of the buttercup family. They get their name from their flowers, which have 5 petaloid sepals, which form a structure that looks like a cylindrical helmet. While in Harry Potter these plants are used for potions that treat werewolves, monkshood contains substantial amounts of the highly toxic aconitine, a potent neurotoxin and cardiotoxin. As little as 2 milligrams of it may cause death from respiratory paralysis or heart failure. Powder of asphodel root is used to make the powerful sleeping potion Draught of Living Death. Asphodel was said by the ancient Greeks to grow in the land of the dead, which led to so many poets like Edgar Allan Poe, Homer, and Robert Frost mentioning the plant when talking about the afterlife. They are perennials that grow tall with white or yellow flowers atop a handsome spike. Its grayish leaves are likely why they have been connected to the dead. Asphodel has been used for endless numbers of medical reasons, including treatment of cancers, viruses, and bacterial infections. It is often used for topical applications. Its effectiveness is still up for debate. Belladonna, also known as deadly nightshade, was a heavily used ingredient in Harry's potions class. Remember in Nightmare Before Christmas, Sally would use deadly nightshade to knock out her oppressive creator Dr. Ficklestein? They can be recognized by their purple bell-like flowers. Both the leaves and their distinct dark berries are toxic when ingested due to tropane alkaloids in them. The symptoms of belladonna poisoning include dilated pupils, sensitivity to light, blurred vision, loss of balance, slurred speech, delirium, and convulsions. The funny thing is, belladonna comes from the family Solanaceae, which also contains things we eat, like tomatoes, potatoes, and eggplant. In order to prepare students for their Herbology OWL exams, Professor Sprout taught 5th and 7th years about dittany, a plant from the Muggle world. Thanks to the healing power of the essence of dittany, Ron's arm was healed after being splinched. In our world, there are multiple species that go by the common name of dittany. The one known in the Americas is in the mint family. Either fresh or dried, it can be used for making tea with a pleasant mint flavor. The tea can also be used for headaches, colds, fevers, as well as inducing menstruation or perspiration. There's also dittany of Crete, which is a therapeutic and aromatic plant that grows wild only on the mountainsides of the Greek island of Crete.
I am the Green Fairy.
According to Snape, an infusion of wormwood mixed with asphodel is needed to make the draught of living death. In potions, wormwood could be used to make an elixir to induce euphoria. Wormwoods are straight-growing plants with spirally arranged leaves that have a silvery appearance due to the silver-white hairs on them. Wormwoods are often used for flavoring wines, bitters, and spirits like absinthe, which was drank by many great artists like Toulouse-Lautrec, Van Gogh, Wilde, Hemingway, and Picasso. Now, there still is no definitive proof that wormwoods in drinks like absinthe have hallucinogenic effects or any ability to open the mind, although many of the artists I named may have argued differently. For fun, I thought I'd share some strange plants from the real world that should have appeared in a Harry Potter series. Witch's hair, also known as dodder, is the common name for a whole genus of 201 plants that come in yellow, orange, and red. Coming from the morning glory family, witch's hair is a leafless plant that is parasitic. It will wrap around a host plant and then insert its root-like Hastoria to steal food. What's crazy is that these plants can pick up volatile organic cues to find potential host plants to attack. Doesn't that sound magical? Plus, its name alone makes it a candidate for the magical world. The corpse flower, also known as the Titan arum, is a giant plant famous for its foul smell, enormous size, and infrequent blooms. The plant, native to the rainforest of western Sumatra, Indonesia, is not a single flower, but an inflorescence, a cluster of hundreds of small male and female flowers arranged on a large, fleshy spike called a spadix. The plant's name comes from its intense putrid odor, which smells like rotting flesh. When the flower opens, the spadix generates its own heat. This warmth helps vaporize and spread its distinctive stink over a wide area, attracting pollinators from long distances. Maybe the corpse flower can be connected to the inferi somehow. And lastly, the dragon blood tree, an endangered species native to the island of Socotra, Yemen. Its name comes from the crimson blood-like resin it secretes when its bark is cut. The tree's unique umbrella-shaped canopy and the red sap have made it a subject of ecological, cultural, and medicinal interest for centuries. Perhaps this is a food source for the Chinese fireball? Fact-checking biology and pop culture is something I like to do, so if you'd like to see more, please check out my YouTube channel, Nerdy Naturalists. Thank you for joining me on this fact check of Harry Potter Herbology. Let me know if you have any questions. Thanks for watching.